Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 3, Episode 16, Reunion Part 2. Hey, before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. But before we get into the reunion, I wanted to show you this video that I found online, and I wanted to give you my opinion, and I also wanted to hear yours.
Messages for Andy Cohen. As an avid Bravo watcher, I can tell you the Housewives are in their flop era across the board, and you need some help, so I'm here to help you. Starting off with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. First off, demote Dorit. She hasn't brought anything to the show in like 3 years. Second, we are going to fire Crystal. Crystal, it is just unrealistic that a 30-year-old is actually friends with these 55-year-old women. We're not buying it. She doesn't fit. I love Crystal, but not with this group. Soft launch LVP. So we're going to have Garcelle and Sutton go to lunch with her a few times on camo. We're going to see how the fans react, and then we're going to also see if we can get a kumbaya at the end of the season between her and Kyle. I do think it's possible. Their fight was over absolutely nothing. And then we do this little soft launch of LVP to bring her back next season. And finally, and most importantly, we are going to hire Jennifer Coolidge, who has said that she would love to be on Beverly Hills. Kyle Richards also said she would love to see her. I think this is a great move, and then we can fire Kathy because Jennifer Coolidge is basically Kathy on steroids, and we don't need both. We do need Jennifer. Moving on to New Jersey. First, we're going to get rid of Melissa. We've been doing this Melissa versus Teresa for 14, 12 seasons. I'm so over it. So is everyone. We need a new storyline. Get rid of Melissa. Then we're going to demote Dolores like Dorit. She hasn't brought anything to the show in like 5 years. We're going to bring back Danielle Staub because we need some drama. And then we're going to also bring someone that can actually take on Tree. We need someone who will actually fight this woman and isn't scared of her. Moving on to the franchise that needs our help the most, Salt Lake City. First, we're going to scrap the whole cast except for Lisa Barlow. Then we are going to add a black Utah Jazz player's wife. We are going to add a born and raised Mormon, someone who has been in the Mormon church since they were born and is still one. We have not seen that on the show. And we're going to add some Utah TikTok influencer moms as well. I think that's an interesting dynamic. They're kind of doing that with the new New York show, and it's younger women on Salt Lake City, so this makes sense. Potomac. We are going to demote Robin. She's useless as well. We're going to get rid of Charisse, also useless. And we're going to bring in 2 power players like Real Housewives of Atlanta did in Season 5 when they brought in Kenya and Portia. We need some big players to shake things up because this cast is stale. The Real Housewives of Dubai. We're going to keep Chanel Stanberry and Lisa Milan, scrap the rest. Lindsay Lohan would be a great addition.
Okay, so as much as I hate to agree with her regarding The Real Housewives being right in the middle of a flop era, I have to agree with that. I really do. So, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I agree with her 100% about Dorit. Dorit does not give much. She doesn't offer much. She should be demoted to friend of. Crystal, absolutely not. Crystal has to stay. I do like Crystal. She's sometimes a little bit too much, but I think Crystal gives something to the show. So I would like to leave Crystal. LVP, I don't think there needs to be any soft launch. I don't think it needs to be any let's gradually bring her back on the show. Just bring her back, okay? She was the queen of Beverly Hills, and she still is. Bring Lisa Vanderpump back. Bring back Camille. Bring back Kim Richards, and bring back Denise. This way you can leave Erica on the show, and let's see if she can sink or swim. I'm just saying. Also, the idea of bringing in Jennifer Coolidge, I absolutely agree. Jennifer Coolidge is so freaking awesome. I love that lady. She is crazy as hell. And you know what? The whole idea of getting rid of Kathy because Jennifer would be a part of the show is nuts. I think that Kathy and Jennifer would be crazy together. Absolute 100% entertainment, especially if you throw in Sutton. Another lady who says that she wouldn't mind being a part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is Jennifer... I don't know, is her name Jennifer Tilly? I'm not sure if that's the right last name, but I think her first name is definitely Jennifer, and she's the lady who plays the bride of Chucky. She's really good friends in real life with Sutton, and she wouldn't mind being a part of the cast. That might be a little bit interesting. I'm just saying. Now moving on to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I agree 100% with the whole idea of maybe scrapping the cast. I agreed with that. until I found out that Mary M. Cosby is coming back. Because originally, when I heard that, I said, yeah, they should get rid of everybody, save Lisa Barlow, bring back Mary. But listen, they are bringing back Mary, which is great in my opinion. Now, I do know that Mary can be problematic. Mary, she just does too damn much sometimes, but that woman is comic relief, and she is good for telling somebody off, even though she's a pastor. Anyway, come on back, Mary. Mary is coming back as a friend of. So the full cast has been announced for The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And they start filming on February the 13th, which is just a little over a week from now. It's going to be Lisa, Meredith, Heather, Whitney, a new lady named Candace, and a new lady named Debbie. I have no idea who the hell Candace and Debbie are. I have a feeling that they're probably Lisa's friends. And Mary is going to be a friend of. I'm here for it. Get down in the comments, you guys, and let me know what you think. Now, the Real Housewives of Potomac, I absolutely think that they should get rid of Robin. Robin has got to go. Robin has caused a whole lot of shit this season. It has been a whole lot going on around social media. Robin needs to go. Charisse needs to never don the Potomac door again. And Giselle should be demoted. I think she should be demoted and really have limited scenes with the girls, just to give her a little bit of a lesson. Bring something or get the hell on. That's my opinion for The Real Housewife of Potomac. The Real Housewives of New Jersey, I agree 160,000,000%. Get rid of Melissa Gorga. Goodbye. You and little bitch boy Joe. Both of them should just go, go, go. They have done nothing. They have given nothing. Dolores needs to go too. Goodbye, Dolores. Dolores brings not one damn thing to the show. The only thing that Dolores offers the show is Frank. And now that Frank has brought his new girlfriend onto the show, we don't need Dolores. That's just my opinion. We are all entitled to one. Jackie can go. We don't even need her as a friend of. I really don't like Marge, but Marge does bring something. You know, so we can keep Marge. Bring back Danielle. I do think it's a good idea to bring back Danielle. And do you know who else I find myself thinking that they should bring back? If they decide to keep Melissa, then they should absolutely bring back Jacqueline. Jacqueline has been on social media tearing Melissa up. And I think it would be interesting to see what happens if both of them are on the show. Now, the Real Housewives of Dubai. Listen, we already know that Nina is gone. Sarah can go, Caroline Brooks can go. And the reason I say that Caroline Brooks can go is she acted so fake, so phony, so outraged. She was over the top and extremely too damn extra. And I really didn't like any of her special occasion dresses. I don't know why I said that, but it's true. I don't have any fashion sense. I'm just saying. I think that they should keep Stansberry because she causes problems, even though her husband irritates the crap out of me. Sergio, please, this is about the housewives, not you. Anyway, I think they should bring on 3 new women. Anybody's better than the 3 that they need to let go. And don't get in the comments bashing me. Sarah is a nice lady, but she was too Teddy Millenkamp for me. Judgy, moral high ground. I'm better than everybody else. You know what I mean? Okay, so I have another video for you.
I'm going to keep it all the way real on this podcast today because I am pissed. Robin admitting that she hid her story from the world on the show that pays you is a slap in the face to everyone involved, including the audience. And the fact that you have the audacity to go on your podcast to reveal this. We spent this entire half-assed season with these made-up storylines about Chris Bassett. And yes, I'm going to say made up because I allegedly was told that a few of the housewives had a meeting before filming about what the storyline was going to be and that this Chris Bassett stuff was part of that conversation. I've always said there was something off about this season, and now I know what it is. None of y'all are living your real lives. Your admission, Robin, has proven the fact that Potomac is nothing but a show about women exposing each other and throwing each other under the bus. It's not about real friendships, real relationships, or your real life. It's not about that anymore. I feel like the only persons who really want to give their real lives and really are looking for a connection with the cast is Candace, Wendy, child, even Mia.
Carlos King, who you guys probably already know, he used to be one of the executive producers of The Real Housewives Atlanta, and I think he might have executive produced a couple of other seasons of different franchises of Housewives before he left and launched his own sort of housewife shows, Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC. Anyway, now I have to say, I agree with him. You know, I don't think that Robin is bringing anything to the show. I think that it's absolutely ridiculous that she waits until after the season to announce that, yes, Juan was out here in these streets, and she'll give you all the details if you sign up for her and Giselle's Patreon account. There is no way that I'm going to pay to find out what Ron and Robin was doing, especially when they should have been using this as their storyline since, you know, they haven't really had one in the last 7 seasons. And the fact that they were sitting around plotting and planning, I absolutely believe him when he says that. Because one, I know that he absolutely does have connections and sources. Two, that's exactly what they did to Monique and Chris on Monique's last season there. They wanted to get rid of her. They sat around, plotted, and decided that they were going to focus on her, her husband, and her beautiful baby Chase. That's exactly what they do. And I think that there should be some firing going on down there. You know, Robin needs to be let go. Giselle needs to be demoted. And we only need to see her on 3 episodes for the entire season. There needs to be some lessons learned. I have to agree with him about Karen and Ashley as well. Ashley spent the entire season just going around spreading rumors and being a part of this let's bash Chris and Eddie. Karen didn't have a real storyline either, but she was extremely entertaining, more entertaining than Robin and Giselle. I'm just saying. And I think that it's not fair that Giselle and Robin can get on this show and not tell anything that's going on in their lives, but manufacture lies about other cast members. Candace went out on social media and so did Chris, and they had a whole lot to say about this fabricated storyline and lying on Chris. It's not fair for all of the rest of them to share their real stories if you're going to make up some stuff. Now, I'm not going to read all these tweets and texts because this video would be 87 minutes long, but you are welcome. And I ask you, please hit the pause and read these messages. Candace and Chris was not fooling. And I agree with everything that Candace and Chris said 100%. By the way, I would just like to say Chris Bassett, yes, please watch The White Lotus. That show is really everything. Jennifer Coolidge and the entire cast of both seasons of The White Lotus, amazing. And I would also like to say that the guy who wrote and created The White Lotus, he used to be a contestant on Survivor. And I remember when he was on the Survivor, he said that he was a television TV show writer. And I chuckled. I said, yeah, right. Honey, listen, I'm an idiot. He meant that. This man has written and produced some amazing programming. Anyway, if you haven't watched The White Lotus, get into it. It is on the HBO and it's really good. Also, there's a tweet out there from Mia where Mia says that she's sick of you and calling her a liar. So anyway, I posted that there as well so that you can get a chance to see it. By the way, Lisa Rinna is at it again. This woman is out here in these streets trying to get a Kardashian style show for her and her daughters. We don't want it. She is shopping it around the Bravo. Bravo people. Bravo people. We don't want it. Why would we want Lisa Rinna and her daughters when we already have the real Kardashians? I'm just saying. Just a little update. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City starts filming their new season on the 13th, which I already told you. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills start filming their new season, which is incredibly late for them, on the 14th. They still have not given us the official cast yet. I'm waiting to see. I need to know. Bravo released the details. Jen Shaw, she goes to the prison on the 17th. And the Real Housewives of Dubai, they start filming on the 20th. So February is a big deal going down at Bravo. They've got everything going on. And the Real Housewives of New Jersey starts next Tuesday. Are we ready for this? Because you know, last season they gave us the whole preview and it made us think, ooh, this is about to be good. And it was just lukewarm for me. So you know how they act. They try to tell us that this is going to be the best season yet, and then it's a whole bunch of BS. I'm just saying. Now listen, it turns out that Candy is the longest standing housewife of all time, meaning that she has been on the show longer than all the rest of the housewives, meaning without a break, without being demoted, you know, all that stuff. And she has got her 7th Bravo spinoff. Why do they keep doing this? Why do they keep giving this woman spinoffs? I love her. I really do, but they don't last. I don't know what's going on. She's got over 10 million Instagram followers. She was on Celebrity Big Brother. She won The Masked Singer. You know, this woman is doing some things. She is touring with her group, and she's got a new show coming out on Bravo, which I just mentioned. It's a show starring the members of Escape and the members of SWV. They will be getting together, girl power, recording new music, and traveling. Now, honey, listen, I'm going to be watching. I probably will cover it. Not sure yet, but I'm going to be watching because you know there's always a David Ruffin in the group. Or Flash. Remember Flash from the Five Heartbeats? There's always somebody in the group who wants to go solo. And I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait. Girls groups, they are always some sort of infighting. Not saying that guy groups don't have infighting, because they damn sure do. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think of all of this craziness. Should Robin be fired? What do you think about the casting on these different shows? How do you feel about Candace and Chris's response? Is Mia a big time liar? I absolutely think so. And then last but not least, that damn Kelly Dodd. Okay, so you know how Brandy and Caroline got into it. Anyway, Kelly Dodd tries to throw shade. She goes on her Instagram and she says, so proud of my daughter experiencing other cultures and learning so much on her journey through Vienna and Prague and knowing how to behave. Glad I could help educate my daughter on how to conduct herself at home and abroad. Hashtag mom, hashtag model behavior, hashtag education, hashtag learning, hashtag intellect, hashtag Brandy Glanville. Somebody responded, not Brandy tagged. At least those boys have at Leanne Rhymes. Kelly Dodd responds, the husband was smart enough to find a real mother for those boys. Okay, now Kelly, you have crossed so many damn lines, okay? First of all, you are not the greatest example. You are not the greatest example. And those boys are lucky to have two moms. Brandy might act a fool and show out because she's a reality TV star and, you know, she's trying to be seen. But we don't know how she is with her sons privately. You don't have any business out here mom shaming the hell out of this woman. You just too damn much. And you're not the best either, but nobody's out here mom shaming you. Peeps, am I being too hard on Kelly Dodd? I don't know. Jump down in the comments and let me know. Now on to the reunion. Show picks up right where we left off. You know, Heather was still acting as if she's so traumatized over possibly blacking out and not knowing what was going on with her black eye situation. Personally, I call bullshit. You know, later on in the episode, you see they all went out to their trailers for lunch, and Whitney says Heather is playing the victim. But I actually think that Whitney is playing the victim right along with Heather. Throughout this whole thing, Whitney wants to act as if she hasn't done anything wrong. She's traumatized. Everyone didn't support her on her journey of discovery and finding out about her past trauma. And you know, I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to sound as if I don't have compassion for Whitney, because I do. But some part of me thinks that some of this is storyline driven. It just seems manufactured. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that feels like that. Get down in the comments, you guys. Does it seem like Whitney is manufacturing some of this? It damn sure seems like Heather has manufactured her entire season. One of the things that I have just decided that is completely ridiculous is Heather and this faulty ass memory. All of a sudden, Oh, I didn't know you were talking about that. I didn't know that's what you were doing. Oh, you mean the rumors at the jazz? I mean, it's just so convenient. And even Andy asked her during this reunion, you know, it's fine if you don't remember things, but are you using your memories as a reason to get away with some of the things that you have been doing and saying this season? And she says no, but I think that's a lie. They talk about that Barbie scissor kick situation, and Angie K says that she heard that from somebody, but she's never known Heather and Jen, you know, to be into each other or having any kind of sexual situation. And my thought was this: if you have never known anything like that, why would you just bring it up? Why would you think it was okay to just throw it out there like that on national TV in front of the rest of the girls? I know that she was thirsting for a snowflake, so maybe that's why she did it. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out because, as you can see from earlier parts of this video, they have cast season 4 and Angie and Dana did not make the cut. Now, I don't know if they show up from time to time as friends of or not, but even though Dana, Angie K, and Angie H was giving it all they had, they still didn't quite make the cut. Lisa making the comment that Heather on top of Jen kind of looked like maybe they could be into something. Listen, Lisa Barlow knows exactly what she's doing, and I thought that was hilarious.
You have to understand what people were thinking watching you on top of Jen. You look like you.
It wasn't
maybe,
a sex injury, and if it
I
was,
understand why
I
she was
don't
asked
remember.
that.
So embarrassed. I don't want to block. I'm blocking Dana.
To support her in the way that you would have.
Well, after the dinner in Arizona, when she told me that my healing journey was childish, foolish, sloppy, and I made the trip about myself.
You arranged this trip. You wanted to celebrate Jen, not to work through all of your personal issues and your issues in friendship with Lisa.
Why would I ever come back to you and try to have a conversation about that?
I did not realize that that's what we were talking about.
You called me a liar and a drunk.
Meredith from Meadwash. Heather, you say you're a loyal friend because you can't.
Because I have received so many texts. I f***ing hate Heather, and I'm like, if you f***ing hate Heather, you need to talk to her about it.
He's in the hot tub. I mean, Jen was slagging you off. Were you upset by anything that you saw? Were you upset by anything that you saw Jen saying about you?
Absolutely. I was
You were.
completely upset.
Everything leading up until today tells me that you want nothing to do with me.
I'm sitting here, I'm listening, I'm trying to receive it.
Hey, I'm not thinking it can go that hard, that fast. Both of them, like guns blazing.
She's playing the victim card. She knows
Heather
that
is
she's
100%
she knows
being
that
the
she's
victim.
up. She knows that she looks bad. She knows that she is flip-flopped. She knows that she's talked shit about Jen. She knows that she doesn't want to be my friend.
Now, Whitney and Heather getting into it over the trip. You know, Heather wasn't supportive of Whitney. Whitney was saying that after Heather told her that she was acting childish, she was doing too much, she was making the trip about her when they went to Arizona, she decided that she just wasn't going to talk about her journey to wellness anymore with Heather. I don't care what Whitney says. Whitney absolutely turned that entire trip upside down. She came in there off the rip talking about her trauma, after multiple times saying that she wanted this trip to be all about Jen. No, ma'am. She absolutely made it all about Whitney. Then she went on to tell the rumor story, which was all manufactured by Whitney. Whitney did not have to bring up those rumors. She did not have to bring up that she was going through her journey until after Jen left. Jen left early, remember? I don't care what Whitney says. She might be upset with Heather because Heather shut her down, but that is the truth. If this trip was really truly for Jen, who was about to go to trial, that they thought at the time, and possibly go to jail for years upon years, and you wanted to just have a relaxing girls' weekend, celebrate Jen, and be happy, you know, pour box wine down each other's dresses and shirts and skirts. That's what it should have been. Not about Whitney and these rumors. They didn't even get to eat the good steaks that was on the grill. They burnt up on the daggone grill because Whitney was drunk as hell. And she did mention that maybe she shouldn't have been so drunk. She says that she couldn't focus and speak clearly when she's drunk. No, ma'am, you was sloppy drunk. And did anybody notice at this reunion they did not bring up Heather pushing Whitney off or Heather moving her out the way at her house? They didn't mention any of that. Heather also doubled down that she didn't know what Whitney was saying when she was drunk about the rumors that Angie Harrington allegedly said. Then she also stated Angie never said those things. I don't know what Angie said, how she said it, but I personally think that all three of them are lying in their own way. You know how they always say there are two sides to a story? I think there is four sides to this story. Heather's side, Angie's side, Whitney's side, and what really happened. I have no idea. But I can tell you one thing, I'm over it. I still don't understand why Lisa Barlow doesn't realize that Whitney is the one who put all the fire to these rumors. She added so much more to the alleged Blowies for Jazz ticket story that it blew up. She was sharing it with other people. Whitney is the common denominator in the blow up of this trip and those rumors. Heather's friendship with Jen is unbelievable. It really is. When they brought up the fact that Heather forgives Jen for everything, but she really doesn't give Whitney the same respect, I agree. I absolutely agree. Heather does not treat Whitney the same. Her and Whitney are cousins. They were best friends. They saw each other all the time. They talked on the phone all the time. Whitney messed up one time back in Arizona, and Heather threw it away, threw the relationship away. Throughout the season, Whitney tried to speak to Heather, especially when they were outside at her beautiful backyard, at her fire pit. She tried to get Bad Weather back together, and Heather just wasn't here for it. And even on the reunion, Whitney was still trying to get Bad Weather back together. And Heather just was not here for it. She would just roll her eyes or shake her head or shrug her shoulders. It seems as if she does not want this friendship back. And it also seems as if the reason is because Whitney is friends with Lisa. It's very clear that Heather does not like Lisa and she doesn't want to share Whitney with Lisa. It absolutely makes no sense because several times this season we saw Heather sit down with Lisa and they had a good time and they had a good conversation and they have a lot of things in common. It just makes no sense that she's not able to be friends with both of them at the same time. Heather was coming off as so passive aggressive and rude when it comes to Whitney. And Whitney and Lisa were just trying to figure out why Heather has such a blind loyalty to Jen. So much so that Heather pulls out, it looked like a textbook full of text messages that she had copied from her and Jen's conversations. I said, well, damn. How many bitches could Jen had called Heather? You know what I mean? Like, what? This many pages? Listen, Heather, this relationship with Jen is over. They wanted to point out to Heather that Jen was talking bad about her the whole time they were in the hot tub. Did you guys see that hot tub scene? The scenery from Whitney's hot tub is gorgeous. And then Whitney was trying to say that she wasn't saying anything bad about Heather. Even if Whitney didn't say anything bad about Heather, she still sat there and listened and watched as Jen bashed Heather. Even if you and Heather are having a rough spot, she's still supposedly your best friend. She's your family. Why let Jen bash her like that? Did anybody else notice that Heather was having a complete breakdown and Whitney, Dana, Angie K, and Lisa Barlow was off to the side taking selfies? I said, y'all just don't even give a damn. This lady is over here breaking down. One thing is for sure, Heather, you need to realize you have way more loyalty than Jen has ever had for you. Jen has never been a loyal friend to you.
Hard part I have is watching you make fun of Lisa.
I apologize if the commentary was hurtful. The whole world knows you have more than 50 cents to your name. They were so egregious that it was meant to be funny, not meant to be hurtful and cruel.
Thank you, Meredith.
Guilty, innocent, in between, she is still a human being. I will always root for the underdog.
How did you go from season 2 hiring a private investigator to you supporting her.
First, that Jen had made an attempt on her life. And with what I went through, I wasn't playing with that.
You had a lot to say about it when she was arrested.
And after, she wasn't invited to parties. If she was around, you didn't want to be there.
That had nothing to do with her innocence or guilt.
Are you scared of her coming after you?
No, because if I were afraid of that, why would I bother confronting her last year? The sealed indictment was on the day you announced her show at BravoCon.
Sharif is a lovely person, and he's always like so on, right? That sometimes I've always struck me as like too good to be true.
So that he had knowledge. I mean, they have to file taxes together.
What do you think?
I don't know the first thing about their relationship, that the cost was overwhelming and they solicited friends for money. I did not give them money, but I know people on this couch did. Angie Harrington gave her money.
How long did Angie know her?
They asked.
How long did they? I'm just curious, like how long they knew each other.
Wait.
Because I think that's a very new relationship too.
It is, but I think that they knew that the Harringtons had money.
Is that why the Shaw exposed thing went away so quick?
Yeah,
I don't know, you guys.
They asked John, they asked me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no one like they asked people for money.
Because I didn't because our counsel said we probably shouldn't.
They talked about Justin losing his job. And, you know, I'm sorry that man lost his job. I really am. But he should have known better. You cannot be an executive at a company. As a matter of fact, you could have customer service rep at that company and they still probably would have fired you, especially knowing that people knew where you worked. And Seth, I don't want to ever see him and Meredith in the bathtub ever again. I don't want to hear anything about his teats, none of that. That is all just too damn much. And I think that he should be careful, especially after finding out that Justin got fired. I'm sure his company is looking at him as well. Now, John Barlow. Now, let me just ask you this. Did anybody notice that John Barlow looked really different? I don't know what's happening with him, but something just wasn't adding. John Barlow looks, I don't know. I'm going to go on and move on. They did talk a little bit about how they spoiled the hell out of Henry. And is it Henry or Jack? I think it's Jack. Yeah, anyway, one of them kids. No, Henry is baby gorgeous. Jack. How they spoiled Jack. And you know what? They said that they're proud of him and that's why they do such nice things for him. But you know what? The scenes that we seen, Jack talking to Lisa and to John, Jack was fly at the mouth. He is spoiled. He is entitled. I think a few years from now, they are going to regret the decisions to spoil the hell out of this child. Now, Seth and John. John acting as if he was so upset, so outdone, that Meredith and Seth made a joke about Meredith finding that 50 cents in her pocket. And, you know, Seth said, well, give it to Lisa. So then she's even more rich than everybody else or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. John said that was hurtful. Boy, bye. Everybody knew that was a joke. We are very much aware, thanks to Lisa, letting us know that she is the richest out of all of them and she doesn't have to be there. Remember when she said that last season? We know she is the richest one. Okay? People know that they were just joking. I appreciate that Meredith stepped up to the plate and said, we didn't mean to be cruel and rude. We were not trying to do that. It was just a joke. But then Lisa says she was upset that John allowed Meredith to talk to him about possible affairs. John would never let her talk about Meredith like that. Well, Seth is not John, and John is not Seth. And you are not Meredith, and Meredith is not you. So what? You know what I mean? I would definitely not want my husband to tell me what I can and cannot say. I'm just saying. Jen, I'm innocent. Shaw. Meredith, she's doing a lot. She's doing a lot. But my problem with this whole thing with Meredith is Andy Cohen. Andy went so hard on Meredith about her support of Jen Shaw. I just couldn't believe it. I said, you are going real hard on Meredith about Jen, but you let Lisa Rinna and Erica off the hook when they threw Garcelle's book in the trash. You had zero heat for them. As a matter of fact, it was more important to you to talk to them about the importance of recycling. Do you guys remember that? I said, what is going on, Andy Cohen? She has explained herself. I did not appreciate Meredith making that comment referring to Jen as an underdog. Jen is not an underdog. She is a liar. She is a con artist. She is a criminal and a thief. Okay. At this point, all the victims are underdogs because they need to get their money back. Some of them had to come out of retirement. Some of them became homeless. Quit playing with us. And I absolutely believe that there are two reasons that Meredith extended an olive branch to Jen. One is because she did feel some sympathy for her, trying to take herself out of this world. And two, she needed a partner. She no longer had Lisa. She needed a partner. Lisa was gone. Mary was gone. That's how I know she's super excited and dancing a jig that Mary M. Cosby will be back. Now, Lisa was coming down on Meredith quite a bit. She lied when she said that in Vail, she didn't really have anything to say about Jen. That is not true. Everybody, including Heather and Lisa, told everybody what happened when Jen left Heather's house in that Uber. Remember, they were saying that she was having an affair and she had the Uber drop her off at some address that they didn't know. They believe some man lives there. So I don't know why Lisa was on that couch acting as if she was so innocent. She never said anything on that trip to Vail. That's a lie. In between calling her 6 lawyers, she was really fly at the mouth. Now, when they started talking about Coach Shaw, that bothered me a little bit. Whitney, what do you mean by too good to be true? So it's not possible for this man to actually be a loving and supportive husband who cheers on his wife? He gives pep talks for a living as a coach. I don't understand it. Now, Lisa had a point when she said, well, how could he not know they do file taxes together? Even I have mentioned that. We automatically assume that Erica Girardi knew something and was a part of this, which, by the way, I've seen that Tom has now been officially indicted criminally for stealing these people's money. This is a criminal situation now. As of now, Erica has not been charged, but Tom's son-in-law has. Anyway, we believe that Erica possibly had something to do with this. We never doubted Coach Shaw. But when you think about it, as I have said before, how could he not have known at least something was off? Where is she getting all this money from? How is she throwing an $80,000 party? How is she flying on all of these private jets? He knows what he makes. And when Lisa brought up they have to file taxes, that's true. Do they file taxes together? Or is this whole thing separate? Did he not know anything at all about her finances? Now, I'm not saying the man is guilty, because I think that if he was part of this, you best believe the feds would be on his tail. They brought up that Jen had asked everybody for money. I said, daggone it. Not only did you get all your mom's 401k money, but now you're out asking people that you know that has to be really hard to be filming The Real Housewives and out here broke and asking people for money. And when she made that comment that somebody on her couch had gave money, honey, listen, Whitney and Lisa almost broke their neck to look at Meredith. Comes to find out, allegedly, Jen asked Angie H. and her husband for money. I said, after all of that screaming and yelling and F you and your fat Oompa Loompa husband, you asked them people for money? And they gave it. And Lisa Barlow said that her and John were asked also for money, but they said no on advice of their counsel. I said, girl, did you call all 6? And they all said no. Listen, Heather said that she didn't give money either. She wasn't going to do that to her family. I don't know exactly what she meant by she wasn't going to do that to her family by donating money or giving money to Jen. I have no clue what that was about. But it seems like Meredith and Whitney didn't give money either. In the end, you guys, I'm really glad that this season is over. It was missing something. I'm not sure exactly what it was missing, but something was missing in this season. And I do look forward to seeing next season and hoping that next season they really get to their sweet spots and the ratings go up before they get canceled. And I feel the same way about The Real Housewives of Dubai. They have really got to get these ratings up. Anyway, you guys, get down in the comments. And until next time, bye.